for Media Watch with Emma James. Good evening, Emma.
Hi there.
You're starting out with a look at the latest areas here in France to be added to the maximum alert category.
Yes, Paris and Marseille, of course, already in that maximum alert category. Now another 4 cities and their surrounding areas have been added to that list: Lille, Lyon, Grenoble and Saint-Étienne. The announcement came from the Health Minister Olivier Véran a little earlier this evening. Those measures, the new measures, will come in place from Saturday morning. It includes things like closing bars and gyms, limiting guests at weddings, halving class sizes. So not dramatic changes, it has to be said. There are another 2 areas, Montpellier and Toulouse, that could join them in the maximum alert category on Monday. We will have to wait and see what happens with that. Now, Olivier Véran says that each French person can make a difference. He says we need to be vigilant at every point during our daily lives. But just to give you an idea of how this kind of problem is so difficult to tackle, is this article in today's Le Parisien. In Saint-Étienne, there was a party involving 150 people, a student party in a room that's just 60 metres squared. Now, there weren't supposed to be that many people there, only 50 invites went out, but we know that it's spreading rapidly in people of that kind of age group. What's interesting is that the authorities, even if the students aren't taking this seriously, the authorities are, because these students could now face prosecution. An investigation has been launched into endangering the lives of others. Those are the charges that people could possibly face as a result of this party. This is a tweet from the local MP for that area, Saint-Étienne in the Loire, and it shows just how serious it is. 306 cases per 100,000 of population, and 190 per 100,000 among the elderly, the most vulnerable, most at risk. And, of course, over a third of ICU beds, intensive care beds, already taken up with COVID patients. So they have more than met the criteria that the government set for these changes. However, not everyone wants to see more restrictions being brought in. Lyon, among those now on the naughty step. The mayor of Lyon had actually said that he didn't want any more restrictions basically dictated by Paris. He said they were in a position to handle this situation. And it kind of echoes what we saw in Marseille when they were very angry there a couple of weeks ago when they closed all the restaurants and bars. There is a feeling that politicians based in Paris are out of touch and don't understand what's really going on. And so the government, I think, has been really trying to avoid issuing these diktats up until now, but the situation has worsened to the point where they can no longer ignore it. What is interesting to note, though, is that not everyone thinks there should be caution when it comes to new measures. This article asks, what are we waiting for? How many deaths? Because some people feel that not enough is being done, that these moves are frankly too little and possibly too late. It is something that is up for discussion, and there are very different views on this, but it's worth knowing that the French people as a whole, according to a survey that was done a couple of weeks ago by Le Journal du Dimanche, a Sunday newspaper, 72% of French people actually say they are ready to go into lockdown again for another 2 weeks if it's going to get these numbers under control. It is interesting as well that the public confidence in the government's ability to handle this crisis does appear to be reducing, and the new Prime Minister, Jean Castex, seems to be particularly unpopular, with his popularity falling quite sharply. So we will wait and see.
He doesn't even have the Stop COVID app on his phone, which is kind of shocking when he wants the French public to have it. Switching gears next, Emma, last night we saw the US presidential candidates face off in their one and only presidential debate, but everyone is talking about something else.
Yes,
not the elephant in the room, but there was something else.
Exactly. We don't normally expect too much excitement from vice presidential debates because they are kind of the also-rans in this particular scenario. And when a fly manages to steal the show, it's quite feasible to think that maybe this wasn't a very explosive face-off. Kamala Harris and Mike Pence, of course, talking for some 90 minutes, 2 minutes of which Mike Pence was sporting this season's must-have, a fly on his head. Lots of people, including The Guardian, going for "Pretty Fly for a White Guy." You may remember the song by The Offspring. Now, they say this fly upstaged engaged Mike Pence. So it does make you wonder just how good this debate was, how riveting it was, or is it just that people on social media and around the world, frankly, are looking for a bit of light relief right now? This gentleman saying the fly was there so long he has to quarantine for 14 days. A little nod to, of course, the outbreak of cases at the White House. Lots of unpleasant jokes about we know what flies are attracted to. I'm not going to go into those. This one did make me laugh, though. I just couldn't stand by and listen to his lies any longer. That's supposedly an interview with said fly. Lots of Twitter accounts have popped up in his name, or his or her name, we don't know. This is probably my favourite, at Michael's Fly.
Does it still have 20,000 views?
25,000 followers.
5,000 already?
Yes, absolutely. Racing away with lots of interest in his account. And he's also taking a look back at some other presidential moments where flies were involved. He tweeted this: wanted to take a second to mourn the death of my great uncle. He will be missed, of course, when Barack Obama very swiftly managed to swat a fly live on camera. Joe Biden flew in pretty quickly with this response: pitch in $5 to help this campaign fly. And he's also very cleverly created this link, flywillvote.com. Doesn't take you to a website about the fly. It takes you to the website that tells you all about how you can register if you haven't already done so.
Look at him, Joe Biden, tech savvy. Who would have thought? Thank you very much for that, Emma. Emma James there with Media Watch.